Hi everyone, Chris Chinnock here from Insight Media. I'm your moderator for tonight's Fireside Chat. The topic tonight is finding the path to a consumer-friendly Vision Pro-like headset. This is hosted by Lightning Silicon Technology. And speaking at the panel tonight will be John Fan, its executive chairman, along with Professor Lu from the University of Toronto, and Karl Guttag, a well-known AR and VR industry consultant. Tonight's panel was recorded in the Lightning Silicon Technology suite at the Palazzo Hotel on Wednesday, January 10th at CES 2024. So let's begin.
So what I would like to do is just give a couple of slides to get this discussion going. Okay. So the couple of slides is the first slide is something that I actually plotted on about a few weeks ago. Is how the smartphone started. I was involved with the smartphone for many years. Okay. In fact, every stock smartphone you guys carry has a transistor we invented. Every one of them is a power transistor. It's called HBT transistor. Whether it's Samsung phones, the iPhone, they all use the same transistor after 15 years. Even 5G still uses it. So we were very much involved with smartphone. Then we will talk about smart glasses. Smartphones are actually very interesting. Let's look at this. It's really started when I was in 1907. I'm actually much older than you think. So 2007, we were working with both Nokia and actually also Motorola. Actually, our company actually was involved with it, which I think was Chris. Chris is now, of course, there. We were working with them. And they were actually thinking about wearable. Okay, wearable. They're not talking about smartphone. So, but their phones are kind of interesting. It's a photo starter phone. It's too early for you guys to know. It's a little photo phone. So they started. Then of course, Steve Jobs changed everything. In 2004, they come out with that touch screen, and then they combined the iPod with just music together. So first generation, no camera. And then they put camera in there. And then of course today, after 15 years, it's photo phone again. It's photo again. It's a little bit bigger, but has many different functions. So the phone's actually changed from a lousy little phone into a smartphone. And this is a $1 trillion business. 15 years. But Apple knows the days are over. Okay, smartphones is a 2D handheld. The next generation is going to be different. And in high tech, it's always 15-year cycle. 15 years later, somebody come out with some new business. We talk about the new business. Next slide. Okay. The next business is actually smart glass. Remember, when we started to make the phone into smartphone, already a billion people using the phones already, a billion. So consumer knows how to use the phone. They already know how to use the phone. So I think smart glasses, I feel you should start with a regular glass. A billion people already use regular glass today, right? So a billion. So what you want to do is, what we are doing next door is take the regular glass, put music in there, take phone calls in there, just like we do the smartphones, and then put voice command. And you're seeing solo. So we started in about 3 years ago. Now we actually, our booth is mobbed. Okay. Then you begin to find more functions. Remember, in a smartphone case, it's using internet, make it very big. Smart glass, I think AI is going to make it very big. AI is equivalent to internet in the case of the smartphone. So we're going to go quickly. The question is, the surprise is, Apple comes out, again, just like Steve Jobs, comes out with this Vision Pro, which is going to come out in February. So he's very different from Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs comes from the bottom, put every functions in there. Tim Cook starts from the top, very complicated systems. And then he would make it smaller, smaller, lighter, lighter to go to the consumer. I think somehow along the line, it will merge into one thing. Again, it's a $1 trillion business. Now, why do people want smart glass? Hands-free is going to be 3D. It could be hands-free, 3D. It's going to be based on AI. And that is a $1 trillion business. And then phones will be like a laptop. People put in pocket. It's going to be a business, but not a huge business anymore. Okay, so now we go to I think eventually it'll be like a Vision Pro. So look at the Vision Pro, which come out in February. I think it's too heavy, too expensive, too power-hungry, too large. Okay, and it's all about, and even Tim Cook admitted all this. So how do we solve the problem? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So how do we make it smaller? Okay. So my own feeling is you need about 50x change. 50x, not 10x. You need to make it smaller by at least 50, half. Cut the weight to half. Now that's like 400 grams to 200 grams. But today, Panasonic is supposed to come. They already announced a 200 gram one. And people love it. They're using our optics, which we're going to show you there. So we think at the end it's not 200 grams. It should be like 100 grams even. Too heavy, too power hungry. A lot of people don't know. Right now, the Vision Pro has that little battery hooked up to it. And the wire hooked up to it, it only lasts 2 hours. Consumer is not going to like that. Consumer want a battery. Hopefully there's no battery or there's small battery that can last all day. So the power hungry, we think you have to reduce by 75%. And that part, I don't think people talk about it yet. Power. And they're too expensive. Right now it's close to $4,000. It should be $1,000 or less. So what we're going to talk about, and what our mission is, to do all this. And what do you think it will happen? I think it will happen by 2027. You will have some kind of a Vision Pro, or some, we call it a different name.
Vision Pro.
That it will be doing 50x. And I think we'll be there. Maybe not all of them, but we'll help you to get there. So with that,
you've said it, and you've said it now. It's recorded.
Yeah, I know.
We're going to hold you to it.
Actually, you all started with 2026. I give it one more year. I started with saying we should get doing that by 2026. Then say, give it one more year. Okay, with that, let's see the next one. The most important part is really how expensive the display is.
Yeah.
How hungry, power the display is. There are two displays, very high resolution, so you need to be very low power, hungry, and also very lightweight and very cheap. And that is what's going to happen. And I think Professor Lu, who is a board member of Lakeside, which is going to is building the factory right now. So let's show the video. It's going to be the biggest, most advanced factory in the entire world once it's finished building it. And it'll be built, it's being built right now. It'll be ready sometime this year, maybe end of the year.
The era of the MR is accelerating. The new MR headset for consumer needs a better micro OLED displays with a lower price. And micro OLED and VR/AR are set to become crucial gateways to the virtual world. As an important participant in the strategic emerging industry of the MR, Lakeside Lightning Semiconductor has been dedicated to becoming a world-class micro-display company. It has launched the internationally leading 1.38-inch high-brightness OLED-on-Silicon micro display. Currently, CEEDI, CSC, and CESEC are jointly building on China's most advanced 12-inch new fab for Lakeside in Yixing Environmental Protection Science and Technology Industrial Park in Jiangsu Province. CEEDI has designed and built the most advanced OLED and LCD factories in China for the last 30 years. This new fab is designed from ground up based on the learning, Lakeside having mass production of 1.31-inch displays. Not only stands as the largest silicon-based micro-display production fab in China, but also represents the seamless integration of technology, engineering, and digital twin, leading global micro-display manufacturing to new heights. The new fab combines the rich experience accumulated in materials, technology, and design of the Jingtan project on the production of 1.31-inch displays, and gathers top-tier technologies and equipment in industry, including the most advanced enterprises PRF lithography machines and industry-leading customized evaporation deposition machines, providing a solid foundation for stable production and technological innovation. In the highly automated and intelligent production workshop, over 70% of the area achieves a Class 100 clean room standard. The silicon-based OLED production process involves more than 400 steps. Through systematic simulation, optimal production line configuration are achieved, facilitating efficient collaboration between different process equipment and maximizing overall capacity. Simultaneously, it maximizes production efficiency as the industry's first 12-inch silicon-based micro-display production line with a fully automated material handling system. In addition, leveraging advanced digital twin technology, Lakeside has achieved reductions in energy consumption and improvements in yield. The new fab plans to move in equipment in July 2024, light the first batch of products in December of the same year, and achieve full production in October of the following year, achieving a capacity of 7,000 wafers processed per month. It will be reserving capacity for the market demand explosion. The new fab is Lakeside's firm commitment to technological innovation and process excellence. Lakeside adheres to the concepts of green and intelligent manufacturing and sustainable development. It adopts advanced automation equipment and Internet of Things (IoT) technology, and combines green production process, energy saving, and environmental protection measures. Therefore, makes the production process more stable and efficient, and product quality more reliable and controllable. Lakeside strives to build an international leading lighthouse factory and promote the digital and intelligent transformation of the industry. Collaborate with industry partners to build a micro-display ecosystem and promote the rapid development of the new display industry.
Very nice.
Thank you. And I think any question you can address to Professor about this fab, and also Sam. Sam also is very much involved with it. And of course, Tiffany is also involved with it. And the fab is very big, and I visited. The construction is full steam. Right now, it's 700 people working on it. Full time, they live there as a building, right? So it's been getting a huge speed right now. With that, we can open up.
Yeah.
So that will be lower the price of the display a lot.
I know you like to walk around.
Because I'm more like Professor Seymour. Okay, well, with that, I think we open up.
All right, so I definitely want to come back and talk more about the fab, but I want to start with one of your slides,
Okay.
which you named the four big problems with the Apple Vision Pro like device. Well, the Vision Pro specifically.
Yeah.
Karl, you looked at Vision Pro quite a bit. And he's very opinionated on the Vision Pro.
Yeah.
Do you agree with John on those four deficits?
Well, I think they're there. I think I kind of look.
You
at
better
it.
agree. That's why we invite you. No, we want somebody to agree.
I think I kind of think the Apple Vision Pro looked like a project done by beginners with too much money. I think there's a lot of mistakes they made. I think ergonomically, from camera, my big thing was the camera placement, how we do pass through. Because I've been doing a lot of work in the looking at optical stuff, and really kind of got drug into the XR coming from the other direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly it's a long way from being a product. The question becomes, you know, and we've talked about this through the years, John and I, about optical versus pass-through AR, mixed reality. I tend to think they're less overlapping than people want them to be. I think John, many years ago, I was in the suite with John, and he told me that people think optical is like 2 times harder than than VR, optical AR. And he said it's more like 10 times harder. I think he's proven to be very right on that one.
I think, of course, optical, a lot of people prefer it, but it's a human, not only technology is difficult, humans are hard to accept, you know, the optical. So as we know, the technology is always more advanced in the military, and everybody knows right now in military is almost always using video.
What do the rest of you think about John's comments? Do you think he's right on? Is he missing something? Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right on all metrics.
Oh, go, Ethan.
Sorry?
Are you Ethan? No, it's not Ethan.
My name's Martin.
Okay.
I'm actually collaborating with your Solus Glasses group right now on some technology. But I think you're absolutely right. I mean, the headsets have to get smaller, they have to get much lower power, and they have to hit that sub-$1,000 price point for them to be rapidly adopted. And I kind of like your approach of kind of going from the glasses side up as opposed to the AR, VR side down. I think that's kind of a much more interesting approach to the problem.
Yeah. I think if Steve Jobs were alive, he would use our approach. Okay, that's how he always did. But this team is different. He wants his own legacy, and so he would start from the top, which may be also okay. We don't know who's right. My own feeling is at the end we probably meet in the middle. But remember, and I think go back to Karl, is this Vision Pro use not optical seeds, use video seeds. Vision Pro use OLED-on-Silicon, which we preached for many years. Vision Pro use pancake optics, which we preached many years. So the 3 major technologies they use is all something that we preach for a long, long time. And we're doing that. And we're actually very ahead. So people who are not Apple has worked on it at least 6 years now, over 1,000 people working on it. So a lot of people are very difficult to catch up. So they can catch up maybe through Lakeside, through us,
Chris, question for you. And then still, what is the killer app? You wear this, you don't go outside. And people won't spend money unless it does something useful.
And that's probably the most important question that people seem to keep ignoring, it seems to me.
The elephant in the room.
It is the elephant in the room.
I'm a little concerned. I've expressed it in my blog. But it's hard to see some of this stuff being worn outside the video pass-through stuff so much. You can see it in military use. You can see it in some places. But it's a safety factor. It's a little bit like self-driving cars. They were going to be around here really quick, but then you find out that what I call the escape. I used to design CPUs for a living, and you worry about all the weird cases. You worry about all the corner cases. And that's the same thing that can trip up like a car driving down a highway is a piece of cake compared to driving in a city. The issue will be when you put these on, will you get too isolated and then start running into things? Now, somebody today was telling me, but take a look at people. There are people crossing the street, looking down at their
looking like this.
Of course. So, but it's an issue because you don't get necessarily everything you get out of that way, and I think that's going to be an issue. Will people walk out on the streets with it?
Usually, I think when they interview Tim Cook talk about it, he doesn't expect people using this glass walking on the street. If you walk around maybe in your room, So walking on the streets, that's where Solos comes through. Where's Kenny? So what I'm feeling on the glasses is start with this human factor. You can walk around the streets and everything. So I think that's most important. And somewhere you emerge. We don't know how it's going to happen. Just our technologies are. You don't know how it's going to happen, but something will happen. that allow you to do quite a lot of different things right now. So we're coming from the bottom, they're coming from the top.
Right. Apple will not launch this product without thinking through.
But they already said that. They're not going to ask people to walk around.
Right, but what's the killer app even indoor?
Well, they're talking about office applications, right?
So I think that's the. I'm dying to see what kind of apps they will introduce.
But if you look at the new app, they just come out with a new app. Mm-hmm. Wow, the application is so many killer apps in there. Okay, which one is the killer of the killer? We don't know. But the new app was beautifully done.
So that's the case that
yeah.
All this problem gets off, then you will take off.
In some way, they're right. It's maybe a game changer, but not the way they are asking for, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did see a product at Showstoppers the other night, which had MR, I guess they were really AR glasses, yeah. But it was an office app.
Yeah.
Tied to a laptop where they could place the screen and reference it to the laptop or reference it to the world.
I have to reference to a realware. There's another way to get a display there. Okay. So you have the system there.
Yes.
Who was this beautiful lady that was wearing it?
Never leave home without it.
Okay. So this is one way, which we call second screen. Okay. That is the CEO of Realware who used to be at Koping, and then he shamelessly left me and started a company. But it's very successful. So go ahead. You might want to make a comment on it. Yeah.
Well, I think the cognitive load is underestimated yet. When you go and try those smart glasses on, they're great when you put them on for 5 seconds. When you see a big green screen, but the moment you start walking around and looking around, your head goes into disarray because you've got so many focal depths to deal with. It's a bit of a mess. So really, I think these smart glasses, see-through, to use them, you almost have to be stationary. At which point, what's the point? What's the point of being truly hands-free mobile if you've got to stop and look at this stuff? Why not bring out your phone? So there's a way to go. I think one of the key, I'd like to understand Karl's view on the variable focus. Well, the Apple One Pro puts everything through video pass-through on one focal plane.
Right.
When you go see-through, you need that variable focus. Is anyone going to solve that?
Yeah,
I know Meta's trying to do it.
I think you kind of have that problem anyway because, I mean, the problem, you kind of have to look at this as matter, antimatter, or whenever I look at AR, pass-through and whatnot, you kind of say, well, what's easy here is hard there, and what's hard there is easy here. It's almost always true. You don't get the depth, you don't, because everything's at the fixed focus distance, you don't get the depth. There's a lot to be said, and you're not getting the right feeling. I mean, people do get nauseous. People have problems in the VR world because it's also not varifocal. You look at Meta. Meta's talking time and time again about the importance of varifocal. Haven't actually put it in a product, but like I say, vergence accommodation. There must be 1,000+ papers on it, and yet one product kind of tried. It was called Magic Leap. You may have heard of them. I think they spent $3 billion to actually sell about 5,000 units. And theirs worked really poorly too. But that's an issue. I think you always have the cognitive load.
It's only two focal points. As I say, the optical see-through is so difficult. It's 10 times harder technology-wise, and 10 times harder cognitive-wise.
So I would say your 2027 is very aggressive on Apple bringing that out.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go. Well, they're not going to get optical AR to the masses. Right now, I see a market where it's largely people who get paid to do it. Be that a soldier, a doctor, a person working in a factory. I think it's a better environment for a factory now because you really have a much more aware of what's around you, and only when you turn the display on. The big thing, AR is almost all the optical AR I've seen that makes sense to me. Almost always involves a degree of hands-free. I know your product. One of the things I took back. This goes way back to the GoldenEye days. Was the importance of audio. That you really are in hand. The people who are doing this stuff are going to have to be hands-free, and not doing it that. But AR kind of goes in that direction. That's why I say that it's like a Venn diagram where there's only a very small, really overlap, where they're both kind of good at it. They're equally bad at different things. Yeah, the VR world, yeah, you're totally isolated. I don't think they're, look, when I put on a Quest or something, I mean, I'm getting all kinds of warning. I'm sure I think the lawyers wrote the opening sequence for the Quest product. Right? You know, stay in your room, and you know what, no matter how, and I've often said there's no boundary you can draw. You know how you draw a boundary around? There is no boundary fence that is so small that it'll keep you safe or so large that it will not be annoying. You know, you can make the fence, because I've banged my head. Everybody, if you use it, as a matter of fact, I have a friend, kind of made a friend through the internet, Bradley Lynch, taught me the expression VR to the ER. So there is that thing, and actually that may be an important part of these products. I wouldn't think, you know, you don't kind of think of it as a secondary thing. It's, you know, almost you need things to warn you and to help you. It's almost like it's like it can be dangerous, and there may be ways to augment it or to improve it to reduce it. But really, when you look at the two, people kind of put them together because you put a camera pass through and you say they're doing kind of the same thing. But pretty much, you're going to give up on image quality if you're going to go AR, optical, and you're going to get much better image. I always say, which do you prefer? Is the real world more important to you, or the virtual world? If the virtual world's more important to you, then there's no choice. You know, then you're augmenting with cameras, VR. But if the real world is the absolute most important thing to you, then it's really hard to replicate that when you get to doing VR. You're not getting the depth, the focus. There's things that don't replicate there. So it's kind of they're each kind of got it, I think, kind of different markets.
Yeah. So that's why I think we're going from the Solos world. I mean, we started with Golden. I mean, Google Glass was our partner as a little display. Then with Golden Eye, we recognize all the problems. So what we do is strip all the display out, optics out, go to the Solos, and now we're going to start adding things on. We're going back exactly what the phone was done, slowly added up. But the VR kind of the Vision Pro has a lot of applications, and I think that if you look at the Vision Pro apps that Apple just put out yesterday, it's actually very nicely done. Of course, it's their app. There are some killer apps there. Doesn't require people walking around.
So what do you think that killer app is?
I still think that watching movies is going to be different because everything is going to be 3D now. All the big screen, it's all going to be there, and the sound is beautiful. It's all personal. So that part you cannot stop from doing that. Spatial computing also is there. They get multiple screens there. So some of the applications are very useful. And then somehow it's going to be merged. So I think it's going to be Solo to be successful, RealWear to be successful because they are very good for B2B. It's a second monitor, doesn't have the cognitive problems. Okay, you only look at the screen you want to look at, and doesn't interfere with your direct view of the side of view. Okay, so but all the apps they need, even for like watching movies, watching shows, the price cannot be $3,000. You have to be less than $1,000, and that's where you come in. Your factory has to bring the price way down, and I think you will be. You will be.
Well, there's one where I might disagree with you a little bit. I wrote this in my first thing on Apple. I said I'll criticize them about everything they did except for the price, because we've been around long enough. I want to congratulate, by the way, Chris. I see he's wearing his 60 years with SID pen.
It's 60.
60. You're so young.
It's 60s. It's SID's anniversary, not my anniversary.
I'm sorry, I saw that pen. I missed that one. But yeah, but you know, I bought PCs when they cost. I bought a camera. I bought a digital video camera. Cost $2,000. That'd be $7,000 today in today's dollars. People are really spoiled by the cost of technology. I'm not worried about the cost coming down myself. That gets fixed. Cost always gets fixed. The bigger issue is that killer app, or not really the killer app, so to say. When you get down to iPhone, it was really adding internet to the iPad.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
as they said, it did everything well with being a phone.
Yeah.
You know, because it had really lousy signal and stuff. But it was good at the it added internet by going to a bigger screen. That was kind of that's got it spun up. We're still looking. I think we're looking to see what's going to spin this up. So I think Meta, for a second, Meta Pro kind of cut corners on the Meta Pro. And when I look at the Meta Pro versus that, I said, well, you shouldn't have cut those corners. You should have gone with better displays. You should have gone with better cameras, better everything. I think it's almost like a reaction. It looked to me like they decided that pass-through was going to be big at the last minute because it was really half done. Much better done on the Quest 3. But still, you're still left with what's going to get this through to the millions, you know, to a large body of people.
It needs a few more iterations.
Yeah.
Even the iPhone took 3 iterations before they reached the top. So that's why I use it 2027, right?
Yeah.
So my own feeling is somewhere along the line, Solos of the world, RealWear of the world, and Vision Pro of the world will find some happy medium. Maybe it's 3 different types of product anyway. And there's there's no reason why one product wins it all.
Yeah.
But it is together, I think it's a very big business, and it's all going to be wearable, and it's going to be different from phones. It's going to be glass. I don't know, is Susan there? Huh? Were you there? We saw the slides in the
No,
beginning?
unfortunately I came in the middle.
Yeah, so we just talking about how phones turn into smartphones. It took about 15 years, now it's a $1 trillion business. We think that eyeglass, which is a billion people use, just like phone, and it will turn into smart glass. Now, which way it should go? Whether it start from the glass, put in more function in there, or start with Vision Pro, it go all the way down. I think in this case, because of Tim Cook, maybe somewhere around the line we'll meet in the middle.
I think he's going to find there's a chasm.
Yeah.
Like I say, my thing is I think there's a chasm where the overlap is it's going to be tough to get from either side to get to the other.
Yeah.
It's hard for even if you're starting from AR glasses and growing up.
Yeah.
Now I am seeing a lot of interest though, like the Solo type glasses. You know, the Meta's got their product, and that seems to be
Huawei has it.
doing a lot better. Yeah, and other people are jumping on because they're seeing it.
Smart product development means you solve one problem with each iteration, right?
Yeah.
When you start with the top, you have to solve a dozen problems simultaneously. That's just not smart engineering.
That's smart. Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is that VR should be separated from AR, and then it will be.
I one time thought they would merge, or that the way to go for AR would be to go VR. I've had these thought things where you thought we'd go through VR with cameras and all. And the more I've looked at it, the more I realize that it's just grass is greener. I think each guy thinks, he looks at the other guy and thinks that problem is so much easier to solve this other way. And I think the reality is, like, we're never going to have hard edge occlusion, you know, pixel by pixel blocking in AR. You can't do it optically. I think that violates laws of physics. On the other hand, getting true 3D depth of the real world and doing, you know, trying to replicate the eye with cameras and stuff becomes almost, it's not as infinitely impossible, but it's really, really hard to do that. If you try to, let's say we had light field cameras, we had cameras all over the place. Well, where are you going to put all these cameras at the right places to get that? But you put all these cameras out there, and then you're going to have this light field display in there. I mean, that's what we're trying to get to if you're trying to replicate this, the glasses. And that starts to get infinitely complicated. All at the same time, we got batteries, and we want it to weigh 100 grams or less. So it's really hard to go, to get from one side to the other. I think there's a bigger gap than people realize. Yeah.
There are too many gaps. But on the other hand, technology being technology, and I mean, we all know about Moore's Law. When he predicted what's happened, everybody said, how are you going to do that? But every generation, people figure out some new way. Yeah. And they say, oh, it's obvious, you should have done that. But at that time, when we in Lincoln Lab, we said, it cannot be done. We actually thought, there's a limit to the optics, how small the transistor can be. But now it's the size of an atom.
That was one of the big mistakes at TI. I was a semiconductor guy in my past life. And I remember in the early 80s, guys were saying, well, we're going to run out of optical lithography sometime before the year 1990. And the only question they had at TI at the time, one of the reasons why TI is really not in digital semiconductors anymore, is that the real question was, are we going to use direct beam slice writing, E-beam slice writing, or are we going to use X-ray lithography?
X-ray, yeah, X-ray.
It's going to be one of the two. There was a debate on that.
Yep.
And it's amazing how long they've gone, you know. Now, I saw a thing on television, some science program, because I don't follow it much anymore, but they're taking like laser beams, zapping aluminum to get the deepest UV they could.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that's what I guess. And then you have to replace it because eventually you create aluminum dust, it eventually coats the thing, and you got to throw the whole.
They use tin and tin hydride.
Yeah.
Yes.
So humans are very, very creative.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would not say never to never.
Right.
My own feeling is, but what I'm proposing is we should do step by step.
Yes.
Yeah, add functions. It is exactly like Steve Jobs has done.
Solve one problem at a time.
Yeah. And then also, if you ever listen to Harvard business professor Christensen, and that's his advice: slowly innovate, but put functions in slowly, because you're disrupting it because you could be hands free.
Let's bring Dr. Lu into the
Oh, yeah,
discussion. Come on.
You joined it very hard.
Yes. Okay. So tell us more about the fab.
Yeah. Okay. Before I talk about the fab, I agree or disagree with both of you on the price issue. Certainly, you probably don't want $100, you know, amount headset, you know, poor quality. It just won't fly. People just throw away. On the other hand, you have beautiful, truly VR display, but $3,000 or $4,000. Maybe only people can afford it. Let's say if I want to buy for my sons, the household, you want to buy a few headset. That's too much, right? So, yeah, we have to be philosophical. We need high quality display, high quality VR set at a price can be affordable to, you know, people in this room at least. If I say I'm going to take order for Vision Pro 2.0 as made by Jiang at $100 or at $1,000 each, probably many of you are going to really place order, right? If I say, oh, okay, it's $5,000, you say, oh, very nice, thank you very much, right? So we're going to talk about our strategy to drive down the cost for high performance at a competitive price. So Lakeside basically play the fabrication recipes, device structure, use the 8-inch line in Jiangsu province. Jiangsu province is really the center of the Yangtze Triangle, Shanghai, Nanjing, the Hangzhou. It's really very lot of highly qualified engineers, technicians, you know, live around that area. So the retention, loyalty is very key. It's the same as, you know, it's holy secret for TSMC, right? They have a retention of engineers, operators. It's key. So we're well located. And we play with, you know, with LST and Panasonic. We play with the recipe. We got production ready formula, but as everyone else, the yield is a research grade, right? You know, that's why the price is so high.
Yeah.
So the key is to drive down the cost, is to increase the yield. So to do that, you know, it's not just the production tools, the factory itself. That's why Lakeside team up with CD, you know, China Electronic Engineering Design Institute, close to 1,000 engineers. They built the first CRT in China, LCD, you know, BOE or TCL. They helped build the factory for PDP. Probably people forgot what PDP is, plasma display. Right? So they really choose to work with Lakeside. We form a strategic partnership, and we have a, you know, research laboratory together, and to really not only for this existing line, also beyond, because I have to learn from what solar cell people did to drive down the cost of solar cell. If you remember, solar cells, well, $20-30 per kilowatt to 50 cents or below. So we really try to learn the playbook from solar cell people. So that's why this city, our strategic partners, the chief engineers, and actually stationed at the construction site, really control every details. They have a mechanical engineering control, make sure the vibration, the potential dust control. Yep. Even mechanical reliability. It's kind of like, it's very hard to believe, right? Every batch of steel beam comes, they have to do tensile testing, almost like a building aircraft, right? To make sure that the mechanical strength meet the spec. When they pour the concrete, here we typically use plywood, right? You really almost like a mirror polished surface. The column is just wow, it's just incredible. Almost, some people working for Pony, right? It's almost like they're making it's not regular soda lime glass. You're making Gorilla Glass. Really, surface is very, very smooth. Just eliminate possible, particles, continue degazing, right? Right. In the factory. So let's go to that detail. Interesting. To just civil engineer. Okay. Eventually, the clean room itself has to be, it's one of the major factors for yield, right? Class 100, 70% of area. That's the initiative we take to ensure the yield is really production yield, similar to solar cell, our roadmap, which will drive down the cost at a very high quality display, right? So that's our roadmap.
Yeah, I saw the aircraft. I know we're technology guys, but I did visit the construction site with the professor. Was it last month? Yeah, it was a little bit 6 weeks ago. November. It was shocking the way they built it. I mean, for instance, the construction site has water vapor everywhere sprayed. I said, why is water vapor? Well, they could get rid of the dust so the construction worker will not be interfered by the dust. We don't do that here. All right? There's so many safety factors in there, and all the beams are being bended, and there are 450 people working on it, live there. Then I said, 450 is how come so many people? They said, no, we're going to 750 people. 750 people just built this facility, full-time, live there.
Yeah, oh, right. Environmental impact, I forgot to mention, because cities institute really is known for environmental control, green,
the construction.
There one more thing about which I think you talk about this China Electronic Association. We actually have a dinner with the president, and I asked how many employees you have. 6,000, 1,000 engineers, and 80% of all the fabs, are the fabs for LCD production fabs, are all designed by us. 60-80%. BOEs, all the fabs. So that we already know exactly how to run very big fabs. And they actually, of all the companies in China, they pick Leisa as a strategic partner and build it. So that would be the most advanced fab in the entire China on that. So they said, I said, are you building for others? I said, no, we only work only for we believe Leisa technology is the best.
So there are other OLED-on-Silicon fabs in China, but they're older, as I understand.
But there's at least 5 years older.
Okay. It's not optimized, I would say. Because they optimize you can see that before everything they do run automation simulation, everything try to control as much as possible by robot, by machines. The process-wise, they evaluate the environmental impact. So if you can use dry process, just use dry process, not wet process, to minimize the chemicals, pollutions. So it's not a hallmark of this institute.
I know Karl's getting restless because he's a very technology guy. But I do believe we're looking at something a lot more than technology. Okay, because the the product is actually transition now. In some way, Apple rang the bell. Apple has rung the bell. So the race has started. And I do believe it's going to be cost, availability, supply chain, together with technology. And then which way to go, we don't know. Maybe there'll be multiple products. I do believe two things very important, especially if you want display. The display will get cheaper, maybe even smaller, higher resolution, lower power. Optics will get higher magnification power and higher performance. And every one of them had to bring the price down, supply chain up. So I think that race already started. And meanwhile, the Apple, the smart glasses guys, like Solos, will ramp up their productions from the bottoms up.
Right.
And they will add more functions in it.
What do you see as the key differentiators of this fab compared to the competitors?
Probably yield, as you say. We have production formula. We want to move from research grade yield to real profitable yield.
What's a profitable yield?
Well, north of 50.
North of 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, it's very interesting. I'm not going to black out for everybody because Sony's fab is 8 years old. CR and BOE fab are about 5 years old, or maybe even longer. They all started when things were still quite immature. Okay, and in the case like CR, they never went through an 8-inch, or Sony never went through an 8-inch. They never believed the display would be 1.3 inch that big. So all the fab were not designed for that. We already built 1.3. We knew what the problems were, all the yield problems, and we designed our equipment and factory to get rid of that problem, at least minimize the problem.
What is the largest size you're shooting for?
I think it's going to be 1.3, 1.4. If you're on silicon.
Okay, higher please.
Huh?
Higher. Make the optics easier.
Optics is no problem. We're in charge of the optics.
Okay.
See, optics, of course, has the magnifying power. In fact, optics is even more in the beginning. I think you will see things going on. Optics will be shocked the world, actually.
Yeah, I wonder about. Oh, great. Sorry about that. Every now and then my watch goes off.
Mine's the same way.
Yeah.
They're listening right now. Apple is collecting
Apple's
all the
listening.
data. Okay.
You speak louder, so
Karl, you've been bad mouth now, so you're in trouble. Yeah, go ahead.
Where was I? I lost my train.
Optics.
Optics. Yeah, I wonder, like I say, a few years ago, all I heard, you were the first guys I think I heard talking about pancake optics.
Panasonic found their way here. Come on in.
Well, that was good timing. And now it's like you can't not see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't have pancake optics, you're considered cheap.
Yeah.
I wonder. So my question is, what comes after pancake? Is there going to be? I get a lot of metal lens, but I'm not real enthused with the diffractive effects of that. I think it might be good for illumination for a lot of things. But I wonder, is there something after? Because there's two things I see with pancakes, right? The efficiency is like about 10%. So you got efficiency, and that's 5x power being thrown away.
Yeah.
And then it still can be made thinner and lighter and whatnot. Do you see things going on there?
It's a very good question. I mean, obviously, many people may not know. We actually work on pancakes for 20 years. 3M people over there will be partners to us.
Yeah.
Right, but not 20 years.
10 years.
Yeah. So we use a non-consumer application. Let's put it that way. Here we actually spun out to do the consumer applications. At some point, it's not the technology anymore because it's going to be a product. It's going to be supply chain, the cost. Once that thing is solved, even a better technology, which will come, will not be able to take home. Wait till the next 10 years, right? So pancake actually has been around for a while, and we know how to do it, and we have all the supply chain pretty much solved. We just have to get the cost down and get people to build in large quantities. And Apple already started.
I'm an old semiconductor guy. I always, and this is maybe why I say I really want to see the applications first, because I always take for granted the cost is going to come down. Once we prove that something's useful,
well, you need the volume.
Yeah, but you don't. I mean, I think at there's my thing. Based on my past history, I think if Apple's thing would solve a problem at $3,000, I think you'll find it. Yeah. It's only 3,000 today. Well, what will it be? It'll be 2,000 next year. It'll be 1,000. It'll get there. But if you don't have the app,
I agree with you, Karl.
It won't. There's nothing to pull it up.
When Meta came out with the product, I never worried about it.
Yeah.
But when Apple came out with a product and officially launched it,
yeah,
I think we had to take note.
I mean, no VR headset that's launched today has met sales expectations, except maybe one launched during the pandemic.
Well,
I can't imagine anything better for the VR industry than Apple launching a product, because it's not, hardware is good enough right now, but there's nothing to do with a headset except gaming and fitness. So to give the people who aren't into VR yet another application that they haven't thought about, and just the fact that Apple's in the market, it is make or break.
Yeah.
This is the time where VR is either going to make it or not.
Yeah.
I hope it makes it.
Yeah, because we had the closet keeper.
It's our partner 3M is there, and of course Panasonic here. Where's Iwasa? Iwasa. Where's his headset? Hidaki.
Yes.
Where's the lightweight headset?
Whose work is gone?
I mean,
yeah, he was
by the restaurant.
I can't wait for people who aren't in VR now to get interested, because there's use cases besides gaming.
Yeah, but are they going to get interested $3,500?
It doesn't matter.
I think we saw like Quest 2. Quest 2 became a closet keeper. Matter of fact, Quest 2 probably hurt the market. They sold a lot. They sold, what, 10 million of them or something about there?
Yeah.
And they think most of those ended up in closets in the end. People put it on, not a great experience.
She had a comment to make.
Yeah, I have a comment on that. I mean, one thing I don't really hear people talk about is we talk about the hardware and the applications, and we talk about VAC and other areas, but when people put headsets on, I don't think the endorphins flow the way they used to when you get a mail or when you use your phone. There's just no endorphins. In fact, I think it's toxins that kind of get in your body by using VR today. And if that happens, you're not going to want to go back to the device. I think I like my Quest 2, and I think it's great, but I somehow don't want to go back. Once I'm in, I'm okay, but it feels like I feel like it's toxic, and there's so much that needs to be fixed.
If you have an unpleasant experience,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but it's never quite right. Yeah. It's never quite.
We have a Quest 2. My grandson, myself, will play for a while. We'll never use it again.
Because of this, right?
We never use
it's
it
not
again.
Because the optics are good and the display.
That's why I was not worried by it better, and that's why we want to start with like Solos type of thing that comes from is an eyeglass. Put a little function in there, combine a couple of devices into one.
Yeah, the Solo thing is a bit of an easier way to go, because it's not really. I mean, now if you don't wear glasses, it's an issue. But if you wear glasses and you come up and they've got some innovative concepts to try to make it more interchangeable and whatnot. So it doesn't build the whole glasses in, which seems like a good idea to me.
And we're all wearing Solos glasses, by the way.
Yeah.
It's actually, another thing, I mean, of course, Solos presidents over there, Kenny Chan. And it's very interesting, we found out, is the Solos, again, since we talked about smart glasses, I actually found out a lot of people in this country do not wear glasses. The most popular one they use is photo grade with anti-blue planar glass.
Yeah.
So it's a photo grade, anti-blue, block off the UV, and inside you can watch TV, watch the screen, anti-blue. And then you can listen to music, make phone calls, just like an AirPod. And it's a lightweight, just like you're wearing eyeglasses. So that one everybody wants.
Yeah, there's a lot. Well, me, I've been a glass wearer since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
So, you know, for me, it'd be nice to combine the ear. It's an easy combine to combine the ear, the audio. Yeah. Be nice. I don't travel as much as I used to, but the auto translation and stuff would be a big boon. So you can see how that all is just all plus, plus, plus. There's no, as far as you don't have too much weight, you haven't made me give up anything.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that, and when you get to VR, it is a little more of a hill in terms of.
For people who came late,
it's a step.
Kenny still have all the demo over there, and especially on the translation, and also on the GPT type thing. Once you see it, say, wow.
Yeah.
It's a wow. Because remember, the GPT is a large language model. It's very good for voice. And we have this whisper. It's wonderful for voice. So it's a perfect match.
Well, I think even that is also compelling is the ability to have these act as your hearing aid.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You know,
Think how many people
Well, Mr. 60 years has said.
Yes, that's okay. I think you'll be very nervous calling it hearing aid. Hearing aid is a medical device. We call it hearing assist. We help you healing. So help you. So it's not a medical device.
Right. In Canada, if you qualify as hearing aid, government will pay for it.
Yeah, but you have to get some kind of a medical device.
That gets to one I saw at the show last night, and it's one problem I thought about a long time. One of the best uses of pass-through AR would be for people who have vision impairment.
Yep. Yeah.
And going back to who pays for it, in America, it sucks because you cannot get, like you said, in Canada they pay for hearings. I'm not sure they pay for them in the States, but they will not pay for anything beyond glasses and maybe a magnifying glass. There's insurance, Medicare, whatnot. I hear a little bit of VA, and they're trying to pass bills. But right now, the saddest thing, there's more than 1 million people who would use pass-through AR who need it. There are more than 1 million people who need it, and they don't care what they look like. They don't care how much they weigh. If you could help them see again, you can imagine how important that is to people.
Yeah.
But it's a really hard problem because it's expensive. These are older people mostly. They're high touch. They're low bit. There's a whole class of low vision, and they're high touch because you got to give them a lot of help. They're not as technically literate, or may not be quite as cognitively literate. But there's more than 1 million of those. There's million, and so if you really wanted a 1 million unit AR app, the problem is who's going to pay for it because they're going to be expensive because you got to give a lot of help.
Yeah. So I think do you have the helmet, the headset?
Sorry, I can't bring that one.
Oh, you can't bring that one. So we're not going to get that lightweight headset out.
Sorry.
He's the president of Zhenghong that is now coming with his lightweight headset using our optics.
Aaron, bring up.
Oh, there you go. That's a,
Oh, it's much smaller now.
Yeah. You want to touch it?
Yeah.
It's also right. It's just only a 200 grams headset. It's not a walk-up. Yeah, everything built in.
Somebody's seen it. I think how you look at it, it looks very good, and using our optics.
It's kind of lost the goggles form factor.
Yeah, I think the smaller than regular goggle.
Let's do it.
Skin is much more bigger.
Yeah. And of course, last year is much bigger. It's around 400 grams.
Yeah, around 300 grams.
300 grams. This year now it's 200 grams. We don't know what the next year will be. Maybe 150 grams.
Is that include battery or is the battery out?
Yeah, it's a wire connection. So check
the wire.
Wire. Okay, so still wire. Okay.
Only one the USB-C cable will probably in the DPO mode. This report directly plugged in with the power.
Probably should wrap it up, I think.
Oh yeah. So he want to break it up. If you want to make some comment to break it up.
I don't want to make any comments.
Yeah. Any comment from Panasonic? I mean, you guys already know. It's Kasuga-san. He will work with us for 5 years.
Yeah, 60 years.
You count 1 extra years. And Panasonic, of course, Lakeside has been our partner. We developed a display together. And Panasonic has a wonderful optics before, but unfortunately it's glass. So now it's going to be all plastic. And then you go from 300 grams to 200 grams.
Actually, there's maybe one thing maybe we could close with, and I think it might be helpful to explain the relationship between Lakeside Lakeside Technologies, Lakeside Semiconductor, LST, L2. Oh, I get confused.
Solo.
Yes.
Okay.
And Kopin. Yes.
Well, I guess the only one that can explain is me. I of course, you know, I'm the founder of Kopin, right? I founded Kopin actually 1985. We founded Kopin. Okay, it's many years ago. And a year, about now, it's a little bit over a year ago, I would find a good CEO. Michael is take over the CEO. So about 6 months ago, I actually no longer be the chairman. I'm still on the board. I'm still the largest single investor. But now the Michael is taking over the Kopin, and the Kopin spun out consumer products. One is Solos, which is Ken is now the president, and Kopin owns 20% of Solos. Okay, I'm the chairman of the Solos. So then we also last year at CES we spun out Lightning Silicon. Again, Kopin owns 20%. Okay, I'm again the chairman. And where's Bo Yu?
I'm here.
Bo Yu is our COO and general manager. Huang is our CTO. Where's Huang? CTO, right? So yeah, and the whole group at Kopin, the Guttag is here, and he's also in Lightning Silicon. So the all group, the Kopin's group, both in the optics and display group, spun out, and so we're called Lightning Silicon. Meanwhile, the last 5-6 years we worked with Panasonic. Kopin worked on Panasonic. When we spun out, Panasonic now work with the Lightning Silicon. Okay, and then Lakeside been working with Kopin for many years. When we spun out, now the Lakeside is working with Lightning Silicon. Okay, another thing about Lakeside also formed a bigger company called L2S to build the factory. Now the Lakeside, which is an 8-inch fab, is molded into L2S. Okay, and Professor Lu is now the board member of L2S, and so am I. I'm also a board member of L2S.
But not the chairman. Oh, come
on. No, the chairman. We should be the chairman. I know. No. And actually, Mr. Woody is actually the chairman and the president. But he unfortunately cannot come this time, but next year he'll be here. So he asked Professor Lu to be the spokesman. Okay. But honestly, when I was there, I was stunned by what is happening. Another thing about the factory, okay, the equipment, you have to look at it. It's not totally installed. It's half a football field. You just look down, it's like half the football.
70% are class 100.
Class 100.
Yeah.
Very
expensive. It's a semiconductor.
And the robots move up and down on the top. Okay, because it's 12-inch wafers. It's like an IC fab. So and everything is handled by a computer. In fact, you don't see too many people in there. All the people are handling those robots.
And I think the key to yield, as you mentioned before, is automation and cleanliness, right?
Yeah, automation, cleanliness, material handling.
Stability of the robot, because
a lot of people don't know about the professor. He's the one. His laboratory invents all the materials and licensed started new companies. He's very well known. In China, he's worshipped. So here looks like very mild, not like me and talk all the time. But he's a industry leader. Also a Canadian Academy of Engineering fellow.
Very good.
Yeah. So there's a lot of distinguished academics record.
Let's stop here.
We stop there. I think we can.
Time for a little beer, maybe.
Unfortunately, we don't serve people. We have a lot of wine, food, and also a lot of people haven't seen the solos. Kenny's still there. You will be stunned what happened to solos when they really combine with AI. Okay, our audio technology comes by AI anyway. But now he uses AI for applications. And a lot of applications are very useful applications. And life is different now. Okay. Yeah. That's why I'm saying the smart glasses will combine with AI. Smartphone combined with internet. Internet makes the smartphone work. I think smart glasses need AI to make it blow up into a big thing.
Yep.
Okay, with that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.